Do you know that I read my first ever and most gripping self-help book? Well, if you want to know the lessons that I learned from that book, then stay with me for the next few minutes only. So you guys who have been following me know that I'm mostly into fiction books, and that there are very less non-fiction books that have amazed me. Oh, by the way guys, did you notice the change in the background? There are no bookshelves in the background as I'm traveling. I'm actually in Bangalore right now, and don't you absolutely love the scenery? You can hear the birds chirping and the air whooshing. So yeah, talking about the books, as I told you that I'm mostly into fiction books, and there are very less non-fiction books that interest me. But there's a self-help book which was stupendous. It was a stupendous read. You must have guessed it right. It is the book Do Epic Shit by Ankur Warikoo. Those of you who don't know Ankur Warikoo, he is an entrepreneur, mentor, YouTuber, and a lot more. I watch his YouTube videos every day, and my mom and I have watched almost all of his YouTube videos, and I recommend you to go and follow him. Now talking about his book. So in this book he has shared his thoughts, his memories, success and failure. And I'm not surprised that he named this book Do Epic Shit, because that's his motto in life. Do epic shit. And this book was so good that after reading the first page, I read the whole book in just one go, believe it or not. So now I'm gonna tell you all that I learned from the book Do Epic Shit. Let's go. This book is divided into 6 parts, and I'm gonna talk about the first part right now, which is success and failure. So in the first 42 pages of this chapter, Ankur Warikoo has just written a quote and something that relates with the quote, but after that he has mentioned the mistakes he made in his 20s, and he has mentioned like 19 mistakes. And there was this one which really resonated with me, which I want to share with you all. Mistake number 8. I really tried hard to please people. I wanted them to like me, to think highly of me, to speak highly of me. If your happiness depends on external validation, then your happiness depends on something you do not control. This is so true. I mean, it must resonate with many of us. We all want to make people like us. We want to make a good first impression with people. But to make a good first impression, you don't have to be someone else, right? After that, Ankur Uncle shared his failure resume, which touched my heart. He is one of those people who have failed relentlessly but have vowed never to give up. It was Ankur Uncle's dream to get into IIT, but he failed, and some people even said that he wasn't good at physics, which was his favorite subject and the one he was good at. And he tried to get into several universities, but he failed. So he decided to quit everything and do something else, in which he finally succeeded. In the second part of the book, Ankur Warikoo has talked about the habits that he indulged in to become who he is. So first of all, he wakes up early, like really early, like at 4:30 a.m. I mean, I wake up early too, but early as in 7:30 a.m. or even 8 a.m. sometimes, which is early for me. But I have decided to wake up a bit more earlier, like at 6:30 a.m. and sleep at like 8 o'clock at night. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to do it, but I'm definitely gonna try. And another habit that I'm gonna indulge in is meditating. So I'm gonna meditate for like 1 hour, because that's what Ankur Warikoo does, and he tells us in this book that meditation has changed his life. So another habit that I'm gonna indulge in. And he also mentioned that we should read every day, which I already do, and journaling. So I recently started journaling. I make to-do lists, I write down the tasks that I have to do for the day, and it makes me feel so organized. And you should definitely do journaling because it will make you feel responsible and organized. Oh, and there is one page which I really loved, and I reread like 100 times at least. Yeah, page number 92, which talks about reading books isn't the answer. The answer is what we take away from them. So you don't have to read a book just for the sake of reading it and completing it. You should read to learn something from it. Like even fictional books teach you something, your imagination grows. So you should read books that are interesting, which you like, and that's just what Ankur Warikoo is trying to explain in this quote. In the third part of the book, which is awareness, Ankur Uncle tells us to make informed decisions and not to be ignorant. And there were like a few pages that really inspired me and resonated with me. So first one is, fear has led to more procrastination than laziness ever will. You don't procrastinate because you're lazy. You procrastinate because you're scared. What if I fail? What if I succeed? What if I have to face rejection? You aren't lazy. You simply aren't ready to meet yourself on the other side. So true. And another page which was a bit like this one. The hardest thing in the world is telling yourself that it's not hard at all. It is not hard to wake up early. It is not hard to make money. It is not hard to ask for a raise. It is not hard to voice your opinion. What's hard is convincing your mind that it's not hard, that you can do it. So basically, you don't need to have self-doubts. You just have to tell yourself that you can do it, and rest will happen like magic. In the fourth part of the book, Ankur Uncle has talked about entrepreneurship and how hard it is to be one. And to be honest, I couldn't relate much with this part, the fourth part, and it had to be my least favorite part, no offense. But I'm gonna revisit it after like a few years when I understand entrepreneurship a bit more. But for people who want to become entrepreneurs, then you need to pay attention to this chapter. And yeah, that's all. Part 5 talks about money and all the mistakes that Ankur Uncle made about money in his life and the mistakes that we should avoid. I love the fact that he's sharing all these mistakes so that we don't make these mistakes, and we really got to learn from his mistakes. And like I didn't understand a few things about investing and stuff, but I got a pretty clear idea of what was there in this part. I got to know that we shouldn't compare our money with others, and we should invest our money in our 20s when we are capable of taking risks. Last chapter is relationships, and in this chapter Ankur Uncle talks about how we can make good relationships with someone. And the best thing I learned from this chapter is to not hold a grudge for a long time. I'm a person who can hold a grudge for a while. Like if someone hurts you and you hold a grudge against him, you're hurting yourself by repeating what that person said in your head a million times. So you should try to forgive that person. And if you're upset about something and if something is bothering you, you should probably share it with someone else, and trust me, it will make you feel much better. And the last few pages of this chapter are the letters Ankur Uncle has written to his children, which he never gave to them, and all of them were truly touching. There are a few more things that I want to talk about this book. So first of all, I didn't exactly love the cover of this book. It could have been better. There are a lot of vibrant shades, but the cover is a bit churlish. And another thing which could have been improved is that there's a lot of page wastage. All of it could have been used. I mean, some people use these empty space for annotation, but I think that annotating in a book is a sacrilege. So you could have just not wasted those pages and it would have made the book a lot better. But I absolutely loved the title, and another thing I loved is that Ankur Warikoo dedicated this book to all the failures and roadblocks I faced in life. We rarely wish for them, but upon reflection, I realized that they are the reason I'm here today. Most of the people, dedicate their book to their friends, family, and etc. But Ankur Warikoo dedicated it to his failures, which was so unique. So that was all about the book Do Epic Shit by Ankur Warikoo, and you have to read this book because you have no option. You have to read it. You will get inspired to fail and succeed and do epic shit. So buy this book on Amazon or on Flipkart or wherever you buy books, but just go and read it and tell me if you liked it or not. So if you like the review of this book, then do like, share and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'll see you soon. Bye.